Welcome to this week's market analysis, and we are looking at the US market. This is SPY ETF for the S&P 500, and we are seeing this month we dips down and close back up, close on the high, firmly on the high. Volume is slightly decreased, so there is some sign that showing that excess supply is exhausted, and then we are seeing buyers are able to step into the market to push S&P 500 ETFs all the way up to close on the high. Basically, on the monthly structure, we are still in the uptrend, and we're coming into this level here, and we are might be thinking that the chances of it moving through will have to depend on the next bar. If the next bar we will see an increase in volume and coming up towards the high, it has to have a high volume to push through here, because this is probably a very critical level of supply. If we are not able to do so, and then we close back down, then I think we might create a uptrust position, because what we are seeing here is that on the monthly chart, although we are in the uptrend, but we are also seeing a shortening of a thrust. So the critical path here is that it has to go up with increase in volume, and then try to establish itself above the highs here, and then we probably will see some up move to come. Else, if any failure at this high here, we are seeing a bar closing back down and closing below the close of this bar here, then I would think that the uptrust is probably coming into play, and further downside of S&P 500 ETF is going to come in the coming months. So let's take a look at the weekly chart. And on the weekly chart, what we are seeing here is that this reverse use of trend line has been in place, and we are seeing prices trying to trade along here for the past few weeks, and this week we saw it dips down below it, and we close all the way up on the high. On this weekly bar, we are able to close slightly away from more distance away from the demand line as compared to these past three bars here. So there is some sign of strength that come into the market to push the ETFs, S&P 500 ETFs up, probably towards the high here. But in this range here, we probably will be seeing some supply coming in, because we have some clustering of closers here that might be offering a supply zone at this level here. On the volume, we are not suggesting it's not suggesting that demand is coming in a great way, so I would think that there is still a chance for the ETF, S&P 500 ETFs to come all the way down towards the low. In actual fact, I would expect, or I would probably like to see, is that it comes back down to test this low to confirm that there is no supply at this level here, and then probably give us a spring position for the S&P 500 to rally all the way up. Else, if it continues to go up and the volume is not increasing, then I would think that the potential uptrust might be happening at this level here. So that is probably what we want to pay attention to. And probably on this up move here, we will probably have to play with it in a more cautious way, as if volume is not coming in. So let's take a look at the daily chart. On the daily chart, I was expecting this area to be a buying zone, but in this week we did really dips down, but we are not seeing volume coming in at the level here, because as you can see that when it comes down, volume is low. We suggest that supply may not be existing at this level. Then on the Thursday, we saw this down move, but the increase in volume and the close suggests that there's buying going on at this level here. Therefore we see a gap up on the Friday with an increase in volume, and then we are all the way coming up to the previous week's high, but we are closing slightly below it. But that suggests that with the increase in volume and the close, it suggests that probably in the early week we might be seeing S&P 500 breaking out of this 136.25 level, because of the high volume and the high close on the close firmly on the high. It will suggest that S&P 500 might be able to break out of this resistance here, the likely chance of breaking up. And but I would expect it to come back to test, because this is more of a critical level. As you can see, it's a mini axis line there which offers support. There is some support here, resistance and rejection. and then we offer resistance here, and then now it breaks out of it. If it breaks out of it successfully, I think we will come back to test this level for a support, and hopefully to see a low volume, so that it will suggest S&P 500 might be rebounding from rebounds from this level, and then try to bounce from this level, try to go back up above the or towards the 139.64 level at this level here. So that's my take for the US market for next week. Downside, I would be thinking that we may not be able to come back to test this level. If we do come back to test this level, which probably will not be a test, then I would think that the S&P 500 might come back down to this level to really do a test, as this level has not been tested yet. As we can see, a high volume area here has not been tested, so we just have to watch for this level here. So the critical level will just be this week's range, which is the high and the low of this week. So that is my take for S&P 500 next week. Let's go to the Jakarta Composite Index next. This is Indonesian market, and we are looking at the Jakarta Composite Index monthly chart. Basically, what we are seeing here is that for this month we dip down below the demand line of the uptrend channel, but we rallies back up above it. We close on a high. Volume is not increasing, so that suggests that the supply may have exhausted itself, and we are probably seeing more upside to come. On the overall structure, we are still in an uptrend, and the uptrend is not violated, and we see a spring condition on here, and we see the rally makes a new high, but on this rally we do not see an increase in volume. That's why we see a pullback from these two bars here. But on this month we dips down below the supply bar here, and then we close back up, and supply is just not coming through to the market. So I am seeing more upside for the Jakarta Composite Index in the coming months. We probably might be seeing a new high this year. And let's look at the weekly chart. On the weekly chart, what we are seeing here is almost a similar picture as the monthly chart. We see some strength coming in here, as we can see the bar that dips down and close back up above the close of previous week, and then with increase in volume, there's demand coming in, and then we see rally, and we're also seeing some increase in volume on the rally. But however, on this week we are not seeing a substantial increase in volume, although we make a new weekly high here, a higher high here, and we're also making a higher low. So the uptrend is still intact on these three bars, and we are closing above the high of the previous week. So that suggests that Jakarta Composite Index might be able to make some new weekly high here, and probably to see it come into the 40.38 level. But in this range here, between the 38.96 to 40.38, we see a cluster of price bars here. That may suggest that there might be some supply that's coming into the market, and we are seeing some very deep overlapping of these two bars here. So we might be seeing some difficulty moving up through the 40.38 level. Probably we might be coming back to test on the weekly chart, and we might be coming back into this level of the 38.50 level for a test, because on this bar we see an increase in volume, there's demand coming in, and the following week, this bar here, it looks like a test bar. However, the volume is high, but the market rallies back up above this test bar here, this test light bar here, and then continues to rally. But if you see, the rally is not as easy, so therefore I would probably be suspecting that the price might come back to this level for a test, with a low volume test, to see whether this is a buying zone here or not, and then to confirm that supply has been exhausted. So that might suggest that it will probably be coming back in the near future for a test. But on the close of this bar, the look of the close of this bar here, we probably might be seeing some upside buyers to come in the next week, but I'm not expecting it to rally all the way through the 40.38 level based on the weekly chart. On the overall structure here, the weekly chart is still trying to maintain a good uptrend, but we have broke this level of support, and so now level, it has to rally back above the 4038 level and stay above there, just to show that there is some strength in holding this market up, and we probably might be seeing some greater up move to come. And on the daily chart, for this week, I think we have been seeing some up move here, but on this Thursday bar, we see a some sort like a reversal bar. Volume is not that high, but it nonetheless it has wiped out whatever gains that is made on the Wednesday bar. But on the Friday, we have a gap up, and then we rallies back up above the high of the previous day, and we close above that. Volume is not as high, so I am suspecting that there might be a pullback, or there might be an early rally on the early next week, but I will not be thinking that it's going to rally all the way through the 4024 or 4038 level. I will still be suspecting that there might be supply that coming in to push it back down to the lower level for a test. As on the weekly chart, we saw some higher volume bars going on here, but on the daily we saw this test at the axis line, which is the 3850, which I expect that the price will not be coming back to this level for a test. But however, this Thursday bar may have suggested that there is still some excess supply in the market, that I would expect some selling probably to come in, or supply probably to come in to push the market down and then to test this level again. Not surprising if it's going to come back here. As we can see, we also see on the shorting of a thrust on the daily chart, and this Friday bar has just come up into this reverse use of trend line on this high here and this high here, and I'm probably expecting more supply to come in. So for next week, we might just be getting a whipsaw market, something like this, ups and downs, and it's probably likely to test. I would really hope that it may come back to test on a low volume and give us a spring condition for a further up move to come to the higher upside. So that is my take for the Jakarta Composite Index next week, and let's go to the Hong Kong market. This is Hong Kong market, and we are looking at the monthly Hang Seng Index. And what I'm seeing here is that for this month, Hang Seng dips down from the low of previous month, and then we rallies back up on the high, closing on the high. Volume is average, so which makes this bar as an average bar and not a very strong bar. Of course, that one thing to note is that we are coming into the supply zone here. As we can see on this bar, we have supply, we have a high volume, but the mid-range close does suggest that there's some buying going on at this bar here. But the next bar, immediately we see supply overcoming demand, and volume is slightly lower to me, and it's still on the high side, and we're closing on the low, so supply is definitely in control. But on the next bar, we see price dips down, but that it rallies back all the way up deep into this supply bar, so there is sign of strength going on this bar here with a constant volume. Then we see tests over the two bars, then we see a rally following the test. However, on this rally, we are not seeing some strength coming in on these two bars here, so the market takes a turn from here, and then it comes back down. We see supply coming into the market, and notice this volume, it's almost the same as this volume here. So supply is definitely in the market, but the spread is narrow, so there is some buying going on from the buyers to stop the price from moving down. And then on this bar here, we see a dip down, slight dip down, and then close all the way up on the high. However, the spread to me is a bit disappointed. I'm disappointed by the spread, because that just tells me that there's some capping action with in this bar here. Although volume is not high, but I am still thinking that if there is more buying going on, or the strength of buyers are strong, we should be seeing this bar closing probably deep above the half of this bar here, this supply bar here. But however, we are not doing that. So I remain neutral on this market, and I would expect probably the next month we will see some follow through, since we have a close on the high. We may get some follow through to the upside, but I think the upside might be limited, and we might be getting a very tight range bar in the month of July. So let's take a look at the weekly chart. On the weekly chart, we're seeing the similar thing happening on the weekly chart. We dips down this week and then close back up, but I was also disappointed by the close, because with the volume, with an increase in volume, I'm expecting the close to be higher than the previous week's high. Hopefully to see it test the 20,000 level, but it wasn't able to do so. And because of the close on the high, I would think that there might be some strength that's probably in the market to continue to see Hang Seng moving up towards the 20,000 level, and probably we'll take a look at how this bar is being formed, because of the high volume. We take a look at the bar, how this bar is being formed on the daily chart. But on the overall, we have broke down, we break out of this downtrend, reverse use of trend channel, and we are breaking out of the trend channel here. So that is some good news, but we are breaking out by moving sideways. So I would want to see Hang Seng move even higher on the next week, and then probably trade above this high here of this week. And just probably would suggest that Hang Seng would test the 20,000 level, and then hopefully to see more volume coming in to push it through the 20,000 level. Let's take a look at the daily chart. And on the daily chart, it's a good sign here on this week. What we are seeing here is that we have coming down with low volume that suggests that supply has probably been exhausted at this down move here. And then what we are seeing here is we are seeing an up move, but the spread is one thing, the spread is widening with an increase in volume, so that is a good sign for the bulls. And on Friday we see an expansion of a range with an increase in volume, so that suggests that we are likely to see a breakout of the 19,578 level, and then hopefully to see Hang Seng push towards the 20,000 level. One word of caution at the 20,000 level is that we are having some confluence of the mid-range, of this down move here, entire down move here, and we are coming over to a support, and then we broke, and it potentially would be a resistance. So I would expect some selling to come in at the 20,000 level, which also been a psychological level, which probably the short sellers might just waiting for it to come to this level, and then to initiate some shots on the resistance typically made by the support resistance traders. So I would probably expect some supply to come in if Hang Seng is going to move near to this level here. And we are not once we broke out this level here, I'm also expecting some tests at this level, since we have an increase in volume on this bar here, and the next bar should be a increase in volume towards the high, and it should be tested on that basis. So that is my take for Hang Seng. On the downside, if we break this week's low, then I would think that there will be further downside to come for Hang Seng, put towards the 18,461 or even the lows here. So that is more on the downside, but the probability now favors the upside, since we have seen strength coming into the market this week. And then also on the weekly chart and the monthly chart, we are seeing closes on the high, so there's odds of Hang Seng moving this coming week to move higher towards the 20,000 level. So that's my take for the Hang Seng market. Let's go to the Singapore market next. This is Singapore market, and we are looking at the monthly STI chart. This month the story is the same as in Singapore market. We dips down and then we close back up on a high, and the volume is slightly lower, so there's supply exhausted at this moment. What I want to bring to your attention is that I've drawn this box here. To me this is something like a buying zone because of the this month here, so it acts like a buying zone to me. The reason why is because we saw supply overcoming demand on this bar here with a high volume, and then but we close in the mid-range, so there's some buying going on at this level. Then for the next two bars we do not see any follow through to the downside, and on this bar we dips down below the low, and we bobs back up, and it created a spring condition at this support level here. Then the next two bars is a test, and this is a test bar, and we have a low volume and narrow spread, and then we see the immediate reaction to the upside. However, on the rally up here, we see a high volume on this bar here after this big rally, and then on this bar we have a narrow spread, high volume. There is supply coming in and stopping price from moving up. Then the next two bars we saw a decrease in demand, and on this bar there's no demand. After the no demand, we saw price comes down back into the buying zone again, and then this month we see the dips down, and then we starts to rally back up. So to me, this zone here is a buying zone, and at the moment we are making higher swing highs here, so minor swing highs, and I am expecting more of a upside to come if this zone is being respected. Probably another one or two times, and this will probably create a cause for STI to rally back up above the 30-35 level, which probably likely to see STI making a new high this year on the monthly chart. And let's look at the weekly chart. This is the zone that I have marked on the monthly chart, and basically as you can see that price came down into the zone, but we do not see any much ease of movement to the downside. We'll see a little bit of ease of movement to the upside, but when it comes down we are not seeing much ease of movement coming down. So there is a lot of buying going on at this level here, and then on this rally we do see some ease of movement to the upside. However, we saw supply came in at this level, which is marked on the monthly chart. Then on this few bars here we have a low volume, and there's no demand, and you see price starts to come back into the buying zone here, and then just observe how it comes back. When it comes back down, we see an increase in volume on these two bars here, but then on the next three bars, when it comes down with a consistent volume, we are not seeing any much progress to the downside. So there is some buying going on at this level here, which is suggested by the volume and the spreads, and also the closes here. And we are not seeing also that it's taking out the lows here and all the lows here, and we are seeing the volume coming down as compared to the volume coming down on this side here and this side here. It is slightly lower on the average. So we know that supply may have already been exhausted. So then we see a reaction to the upside. The reaction here on the rally, we are seeing slightly increase in volume, and the closes are pretty okay, except for this bar we have slightly in the mid-range close, suggests some selling going on here. But on the next bar we just negated the supply, and demand came in to push STI back up towards the 29.05 level. On the overall structure, I am because this pullback is a little bit too much for the midpoint, and we start to rally up, and we're coming very close to the midpoint, which this 29.05 is slightly above the midpoint, and I am expecting this rally to be a storyteller, because if it is going to have strength in the STI market, STI should be trading above the 29.05 level, and this is the supply line which also probably may come into play, and I would expect some supply coming in here, because if you notice that the 3000 level, we have this very long sideways movement and the cluster of closes along that 3000 level. So that suggests that there may be a lot of trap bulls that is probably going long at this level, but wasn't having enough time to get out of the market when the price starts to drop very fast. So I'm expecting supply to come in at this level, where if STI is going to come back into this 3000 area, and we also come into the supply line, so it probably might get some supply that's coming to the market if STI is going to visit this supply line very soon. I think probably next week or the week after next. And that is on the weekly chart, and I would be thinking that there will probably be more strength coming in to the upside. My bias is still probably going to go up. And for the STI, so let's look at the daily chart. And on the daily chart, we are seeing here is that this week it was a very nice week. On the last 3 bars, we see increase in volume on the rally, so that is a good sign that STI is probably going to trade above the 2861 level, probably towards the maybe have a higher chance to break the 2906 or 2905 level and to trade towards the upside. On the whole price structure here, I'm not expecting STI to come back into this level for a very simple reason, because we see some demand came in on this at this level here, then we see a very good rally here, but the volume is not as high, so we saw supply come in. But when the supply comes in to this level here, we saw test on the Monday bar, we saw a test, and then the Tuesday is also something like a test, but we have a very slightly higher volume. But then we see price has an immediate response to the upside, and we see price volume coming into the market. So this level has already been tested, and I'm not expecting STI to come back to this level to test. However, I would expect STI to have a rally above towards or above the 2906 level, and then come back down to this 2861 level for a test, because on this bar here we saw supply, so it probably likely to be tested in the coming days to see whether there's a supply follow through to the downside. For the next week, I am expecting STI to rally, but it will probably have a pullback to come back to this level here, or this range of Friday bars range for a test. Uptrend channel is intact here, and we are now seeing some overbought condition on the STI, and also have a confluence of this support becomes resistance and the supply line, so there might be some supply coming into the market, so we probably have to expect that to happen. If it happens, we should not be surprised. So my take is that if we have a long position, but just have to assess whether how the supply is coming into the market, if there is. Alright, so that is my take for STI next week. Basically, for the whole general market, we are seeing strong movement to the upside this week, and I would expect probably more upside to come. However, because the market is now responding to some positive development in the Eurozone, so it is still very much news and rumors driven. We would have to be very careful with the position, but from the look of the volume and the price movement, there is buying going on at the moment, and but just have to watch out for the supply zone or the resistance level, because that will be a very touchy, those are very touchy level. Just a little bit of negative news, we might be seeing supply or selling coming into the market again, and we probably may see more whipsaw. That is my take for the market and the general market this week, and I hope you have a good trading week next week, and be careful out there. Thanks.